Welcome to the Mild Opinion Podcast. I'm Luke.
I'm Logan.
And today we're doing another session of Can't Stand It's, which is where we go through some just general trends and annoying habits that we see movies, TV shows doing, and sometimes just like how people receive or switch up on movies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So do you have a Can't Stand It you'd like to jump into here?
Yes. This first one, it's been a pretty big thing. We've discussed it a little bit in the past 6 months or so, quite a bit, because of certain things. And in what would be our last episode that you guys would have seen before this one, we talked about then too. But TV shows, getting into like multiple seasons, huge fan bases, like people who are like into like the lore, like, spin-offs, whatever, book series, whatever it is. An entire giant lore-based show with huge fan bases and, spending years upon years building this up just for the finale to be thrown together and seemingly just tossed all together into some whatever they can get to kind of make sense in like 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Like it's there have been a few different shows this year in particular that have been like gut wrenching because of this, and it's like, dude, you're trying to wrap up this entire journey in like 1 hour episode and just be like, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the end.
And it's a thing where it's like, for some of these shows, it's been like 5, 6, 7, 10 years. It's like, did we not realize what we were going to do at the end? Have we not been thinking about that? You can start a show and not know how you're going to end it, but you should be thinking, like, where does this lead?
Yeah.
As you're coming out with these shows. So I feel like it started with the show You.
Yeah.
Season 5 was just a joke, like a complete joke to what the rest of the show was. And a lot of it comes down to with whatever the problem is in the show or the plot of the show seems to be like both raised in the final season, but also then overcome incredibly easily. Yeah. And I mean, to throw out the elephant in the room here, I think the worst example of this in recent memory is Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Just like they literally convinced an entire fan base that all their mistakes were on purpose to the point that they were like, oh, there's a secret episode.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. And it's just like, how do you do this? And then for something even like Stranger Things, they're like, oh, this is our passion project. We've known the ending since the beginning. And I feel like you watch it and you're like, that's clearly not true.
Yeah.
No, you did not. Because it's almost like you watch, and not just Stranger Things, like other shows too. It's like you can watch the final season and you start to be like, wait a minute, there's all these loose threads and I have 2 episodes left, and either all of them are gonna get horribly small little explanations and solutions to them, or just some of them will be ignored, or both. Worst case scenario, which Stranger Things was horrible at. Yeah.
And I feel like that's just become such a big issue, is that it almost feels like a lot of these shows will get like too big for their britches, because like they'll start out, they'll get popular, they'll do some stuff in between and be like, oh, they love this stuff.
Yeah.
And then they get to the end and they're like, oh, well, now what? How are we supposed to end this off?
And a weird thing about it too is like, it feels like the budget of these shows increases each season because of the fan base and the following. And it feels like that budget just gets absorbed into thin air. Like, like The Boys here. We'll talk about The Boys because this just finished. Season 5 just seemed smaller. Yeah. Like, it seemed like you don't see the world around you as much. And I feel like it's not that hard, but it makes it feel rushed to not be showing just ordinary people like the show has shown you, and be showing these big like political conventions and like rallies and stuff going on just around the United States. And it feels like those weren't happening the same way. And it just feels like they were like, oh, let's get these people in a room and imply that Homelander is this scary and imply what's going around everywhere. Yeah. So that we don't have to like leave set on the day we were filming or whatever. Yeah. And that's how it feels while you're watching it. It's like they got tired of their own show. Yeah. So then it's just an insult to people.
Yeah. Well, and that's how it feels too with like what I was talking about earlier, like the how it all just seems like it comes up too fast. There'll be it's moving up, moving up. The problem's getting worse. It's getting more severe. You know what I mean? It comes to like a peak where you're like, all right, like this is where it's about to hit the fan. They're either gonna figure it out or they're gonna lose. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of lulls for a little bit.
Yeah,
and that's just what happened. That's what happened in The Boys. That's what happened in Stranger Things. Like, it's coming up, it's coming up. Then it kind of just gets like, well, what's going on now? Like, there's just kind of like a little in between of like, oh, well, it's kind of just there. And then there's like a final battle or whatever that is usually extremely underwhelming.
Super short.
And then it's like, oh, well, that was all that it took.
Yeah.
That's all that it took to win. After like all these years, all these seasons, all this time spent in the show, that was what it took for you guys to overcome this? Why didn't you just do that at the beginning?
And a lot of the time, too, it'll ignore things they've established. It'll change power scaling of certain stuff. I think just the worst one of this by far was Stranger Things is like the final fight lasted for like 5 minutes. The explanations the writers have given of plot holes and stuff since then have just been downright like, did you guys write the show? Like, what's going on here? You seem more confused than a lot of the people who actually have been paying attention. Like, you know, like if you're watching a show, you should be. I just don't get that. That is ridiculous to me. I'll jump into my first can't stand it here. And this is kind of a weird one. I don't really have a way to describe this. But there's something you and I have actually discussed recently. And it's like when a movie is announced and you see trailers for it. And it's not like it looks bad. A lot of time it's a good looking movie. And then it seems like somewhere along the way in its advertising, it just seems like it's going to now be a bad movie. And I don't want to speak too soon on this, but the movie in question that we have discussed is Disclosure Day. I don't know what it is about it. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad movie. I just feel like my hopes of it being a good movie have vanished. Because it's like, I watched the first trailer. It's like, hey, it's unique. And it's Steven Spielberg, right? And it's like, oh, yeah, if you watch a Steven Spielberg movie, you know how usually it's pretty high quality and stuff. But I don't know what it is. The more trailers and footage I've seen released about it, I just don't know how to describe it. It feels like I've lost interest in it, even though it's the same footage. It's the same story, just with like a little more context. So I'm like, where did I lose it? Where did it lose me? I don't get what happened here.
Yeah, no, I agree with that stuff too. Just because I feel like part of it maybe is just you see the first trailer, you're like, oh, like some cool actors and stuff. I like this director, whatever. This is a cool story, or like what I can tell, like a cool concept, kind of mysterious or whatever. And then you learn more about it, and then you're like, wait, this seems kind of weird, or like this seems like it's not gonna be that good. Like this kind of just seems like movie fodder, like, you know, big names and whatever kind of random stuff. And I think that's the issue itself. I agree. Like, Disclosure Day was the big one. As soon as you said what you were thinking, I was like, yeah. So I'm just like, man, when we first both saw the trailer for Disclosure Day, we were like, oh my gosh, this looks like it's going to be incredible. And then we've learned more about it and saw more trailers. And like, we both came to each other separately and we're just like, dude, does this kind of
seem bad now?
Weird to you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it'll be bad. It might actually turn out to be great. Because I've experienced the reverse of this before, which is that the trailers for a movie kind of make it seem underwhelming. And then you go see it and it's like, whoa, that was good. But I don't know what it is. And I feel like this isn't the only movie that this has happened for. But this is just the most recent one. So I'm able to say, like, and again, not saying this is going to be a bad movie. It might be spectacular. I just feel like since the advertising's been going out for it, something in my brain went like, eh. When originally I was like, all right, something interesting here. And now I'm like, eh.
I get you. I understand completely because I feel that same sentiment.
All right, what else you got?
This kind of goes along with the advertising stuff and like the more trailers and stuff like that we've been getting. But jeez Louise. One thing that I can't stand is when smaller production movies, so like, you know, smaller studios, newer directors, smaller budgets, stuff like that, not big time actors or actresses, are in these movies that have a great premise it honestly could end up being great when they come out and stuff like that, but just get completely overshadowed and engulfed by whatever giant Hollywood blockbusters coming out. So
Sure.
like, and you'll see one trailer for this movie that looks pretty good with these smaller actresses or smaller actors and directors or whatever, but it'll just get completely overshadowed by the next Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Or the next, you'll see 15 trailers for the next Marvel movie compared to every one trailer that you see for something else that's smaller.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things too where I feel like this is kind of happening right now with Obsession. A lot of people are talking about Obsession and how good it is and stuff like that, and like people are really encouraging to like go watch it because they really like it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then like I feel like I saw a few trailers for it before it came out and stuff, but I feel like most of the stuff that I was seeing about was just like 30-second teasers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it wasn't in a theater. I haven't seen a single trailer for this in a theater. I've been seeing it on, I don't remember what show it is. Some show I've been watching recently, like the ads playing are for Obsession. It's like, where was the trailer for this? Because why is the hype that this movie is now getting is from word of mouth, which is like the greatest way for a movie to be building reputation for it, is people just saying this movie's actually great, like go watch it. So like kudos to Obsession for that.
Yeah.
But the advertising for it can't just be word of mouth and trailers through a streaming platform, like because there's so many horror movies that are constantly actually I feel like there's a lot that have been in the pipeline here recently, but Obsession is not one of them that I've seen in a theater like any sort of trailer for. So I guess in a way like the advertising team might have been onto something with just like this movie will be good enough if we get it in front of the right people to get word of mouth going about it.
Yeah. I think part of it goes into like, to make a high quality production and stuff with a lowish budget or a smaller studio, you kind of got to be like, well, how are we going to, budget the set and stuff like that? How are we going to pay the actors and actresses and do all the things while also putting money into its marketing and stuff to make money on it? And then you'll have these other, giant Hollywood movies and companies and stuff come along and just spit out ad after ad after ad after ad. I think that's the part that really sucks, is good movies that are smaller will get overshadowed by whatever big thing is coming out that's going to make a ton of money. Yeah. And that's just the saddest part, because like I couldn't even tell you how many ads I saw when the newest Scream movie was coming out. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? And a lot of people said that they did not like that at all. Oh, yeah. And then you have this movie that everybody says is pretty great. Barely seeing anything about it. The only reason I knew about it was just here and there, little teasers, 30-second clips here, this and now
it's just boom. Yeah. Like they did something really well with it. Even I haven't seen it. I kind of know the gist of it, but so good job on their end for being good enough that people are hyping it up to go see this movie, just word of mouth wise, because usually those are great movies when it's just a public consensus, not just this movie's been being jammed down our throats by trailers for the longest time. So I guess that's the best form of advertising, but it's also like kind of just fell out of the sky. Yeah. So the next one I'll jump into that I have, and this is one that there's one franchise that has a horrible, horrible reputation of doing this, is anytime there is a project or a movie announced where it gets announced, and sometimes they'll put like a date on it. Mm-hmm. No assigned director, no writer, no script. Mm-hmm. And then it sits for a while, and then it vanishes. Well, sometimes there's one of these components, like a writer, or there's a script but no director, or just a pitch. Yeah. And they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, let's like put it into production." And then it just sits. And nothing happens. And the franchise in question that I'm talking about that has the worst reputation by far of this is Star Wars. At this point, I think there's more announced Star Wars projects that have been canceled than actual things that exist in Star Wars. Yep. So how do you go about announcing to the public, like, about 1 out of every 6 things we announce, or let out leaks that it'll be like a rumor will actually happen. 3 of them will put into production and 1 of them will make it out in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, it happens so much where it's just, oh, this is in production, but it's halted.
Yeah.
And it's just, what is, who thought it was a good idea? Do you not realize it's going to harm the brand here?
Yeah.
To continuously be like, well, we're going to announce 4 cool ideas, but we could only get 1 person for one of the like mid to low tier interesting ideas, and then we'll just trash can the rest of them.
Yeah.
But not tell anybody we've trash canned them in case like we figure out a great way to do it. That's so stupid and it's so annoying.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, it's just like if you're not ready to roll on it, don't announce it. You know what I mean? What's the point? Because if you announce it and don't do it, you're gonna have a bunch of people that are disappointed. You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth trying to build that hype if you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But if you're already ready to roll on it, and then, you know, you get it going and stuff like that, the worst thing that can happen is that you're rolling on it and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
You know, nobody cares about it.
Well, the same thing too is like this happened with Marvel with the Blade movie. It's like, yeah. And I understand Marvel has more pressure on it because they're like, oh, we got to get these characters out there.
Yeah.
Right? But don't announce a project if you don't have a plan or a backup plan. Like, you should have a backup plan too for all of this stuff.
Yeah, like if you announce something that's coming out, especially being something like, you know, Marvel, Star Wars, DC, anything like that massive, if you're announcing it, it better come out. You know what I mean? No matter what happens, you better have a director on standby, you better have a lead actor on standby, like something. If you announce it, it should have to come out. Like, at that point. If you're that huge, you should, whatever happens, it's going to come out.
Yeah. And this is actually like pairs with another thing I wanted to bring up, which is when a project is announced and has absolutely nothing on the table for it other than like a name or a pitch, and then sits there for a long time, and then you hear after like 3 years of it being rumored that like, oh, it has a writer now or a script has come through for it. And this is a more specific avenue, kind of branch off of what I just said, but you know, we just finished The Boys recently, and for a long time there's been a spinoff discussed about The Boys called The Boys Mexico, which is just supposed to be like in tandem with The Boys, the same universe, but I think it said it's not going to be like any of the same characters. Amazon recently supposedly just received a script for this, and we're like, you know what, that's great, let's make it. But why has The Boys Mexico been something that I've been hearing about for such a long time?
Yeah.
If there wasn't even like an episode 1 script that they'd read, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Like, who was like, yeah, let's throw out there The Boys Mexico is going to happen, but we don't have any evidence of that other than that we want it to happen. Yeah. That's so stupid. That's like the same as the general public being like, you know, it would be a great movie is this. The only difference is these people are behind the production there, so they can actually be like, well, I have this cool idea, but I don't know if we'll do it. Yeah. But go ahead and put out there that we'll do it. So that's weird.
Well, that stuff is like ultra annoying too, because it's like, if you don't have a script, if you haven't had a pitch yet, like if you don't have anything really in mind to confirm or not whether you're going to have like the funding or backing to even start this production, that's not even like a movie pitch. That's like, it's not even worth telling anybody about, because like, public wise at least, you know what I mean? Because like, that could amount to nothing. That's nothing more than a fart in the wind, you know what I mean? Like, that could be anything. I could think of something up right now and just be like, oh yeah, well, we could do this. Yeah. It means nothing if there's nothing behind it.
Yep. Exactly. Do you have another can't stand it?
I do. This is ultra specific, but I know it's very big when it comes to large franchises. So, you know, DC, Marvel, Star Wars, stuff like that. And that is the merchandising needs to get in check with a lot of these huge franchises. Yeah. Because there'll be, you know, there'll be a movie that they release a trailer for. You know, there's always leaks and stuff. There's speculation. There's this and that and the other all over the internet. But then something that'll be like speculated or something like that will be confirmed by an action figure coming out 2 months before the movie does. Yeah. the Lego set that's been released a month before the movie comes out.
Yep.
Like, yeah, that stuff has to get figured out. Because, like, I feel like this has happened too many times for this to keep going on. Like, how many things I've figured out about movies and stuff just because people post, like, oh, look at this Lego set that's coming out for this movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, boom, there's a character that you didn't even know was going to be in it. There he is.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, why?
Yeah, specifically Marvel, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because, like, Star Wars and stuff has recognizable characters, but I feel like people don't get upset about that anymore. Because Star Wars is just in a bad spot. But,
who cares?
Yeah, with Marvel stuff, especially, I'm sure Avengers Doomsday might be under threat of this when that gets closer, but I think the recent thing was Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man's already had some stuff.
Yeah. And I understand the difficulty. How do you come out with toys and stuff for a movie that you want to be advertising, getting people hyped up about at the same, like, before the movie comes out, so you know what's going to come out with it? I don't really have an answer for that, but I understand where you're coming from. It's like,
I think if it were going to be something like that, like, I mean, because really, this stuff is about the movie. You wouldn't have this stuff without the movie. Let the movie come out and then release it after the movie. That's just the only, release it put that stuff out the same week that the movie releases.
Yeah.
Not 2 months before you can buy an action figure of somebody that's in the movie.
Exactly.
That you didn't even know about. Like, what?
The Lego knows. Lego's known for a while. That's just, I don't know. I don't understand that. I understand the pressure on the company to be like, we need to get this toy out because it'll sell incredibly to kids and stuff, and it'll make them be like, oh, I want to go see this movie. Like, tell your parents to go see this movie. But yeah, it's just, there's not really a concrete solution to it, but it is kind of frustrating.
It is.
I'll jump into one. This kind of takes a different avenue, and this is mainly like stuff I see on social media. I don't really have a great way to say it, but when we come in here and and are just doing this, we're doing this completely for fun, and it's like us sharing our opinions and stuff about movies and just like commenting on stuff we've watched. But not even in our comment section and stuff, because like sometimes people comment and be like, oh, well, clearly you guys haven't, but that's fine. It's like that for everybody on talking about movies and stuff, like even content creators who are gigantic, who talk about movies and superheroes and stuff like way above our pay grade, who would sit there and are like, oh my gosh, like I love this movie. And then there's some guys, the top comment always is coming in and being like, well, obviously you've never read this, or you haven't seen this, or you didn't pay attention to this part of the movie. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, you insufferable word that I would care not to say in this moment. Like, oh my gosh, dude, if you really disagree, just say you disagree. Like, if there's something somebody missed that's in a comic book, then just say, like, in the comics this happens. Like, but don't be a know-it-all. Like, I feel like everybody has entitled themselves to be like, oh, well, clearly it's this, or obviously it's this, or you never this. And it's like, oh my gosh, if the person missed something, say that. Or if you disagree with them, say that. Or if you want to offer context to something that it seems like they're confused about, say that. But you don't have to be insufferable about it. That just reflects on you. And it's like, it's always about, it can be about movies that don't even have like an insane lore or something. So it's just like, well, I interpreted it this way, so I'm right, you're wrong. And it's like, man, these are all so like subjective things here. Like, these are objective movies, not a one way to take it unless it clearly says out loud, take it this way. You know?
Well, and I feel like a lot of times too, the reason that it gets so frustrating with those kinds of comments, those kinds of people, is that it's never from like all right, like, well, yeah, but you might have missed this approach. Like, it's always like, you clearly don't know what you're talking about. My huge intellect tells me that you don't know anything about the movie. And I'm like, all right.
And it's like, dude, it's the stupidest things. It's like, somebody will comment, like, you'll see a video, it's like, who would win in a fight? Like, this version of Batman versus this version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Comment section will be like, some innocent guy is like, oh man, I've always loved Batman. Like, he's my favorite, and like, I'd love to see the fight, but I think Batman would win. It's like so innocent. And then there's the comments on it will be like, you freaking idiot. Like, you clearly never read Spider-Man 165, where it clearly demonstrates how Spider-Man would beat Batman.
Yeah.
And it's like, next time, check your facts. And then the comments all under that are either like, yeah, or it's just more of like a rabbit hole of like, well, obviously this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, leave this poor fella alone.
Yeah.
He's just entertained by the idea, and now he's never going to open his mouth again.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times too, like it'll be something like that, or it'll be like the worst ones. They'll be like, "Well, yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but the point that you made about it isn't exactly how it is." I'm like, dude, if you're agreeing, just agree. Yeah. Like,
okay. I honestly think I think a lot of times people too in this same vein, and I won't go too far into this because like any social media comment section, movies, TV shows or not, will have people saying stuff like this, but like. In those scenarios, I feel like, I mean, we've had people comment before on stuff where they're like, oh, actually it explained here, and I've been like, oh, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
But when people are outright just like attacking other people commenting things, or like, oh yeah, that would be neat, or this would be cool and stuff, and they're like, you imbecile, this is impossible.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, let these people dream, you know? And then there's a chance that it's usually for stuff that's really lore heavy or from a really intense source material. I don't think there is anything in the world that is an adapted movie or TV show, comic book, Star Wars, whatever, that is 100% lore accurate. And in terms of Star Wars, where I see this happen a lot, every time a Star Wars project comes out, it changes the lore.
Yeah.
So there's going to be creators out there and like writers and directors and stuff who come in and are like, have not seen everything, and are like, this is the movie I want to make, and it's gonna change lore. And because they're the ones making it, then the people who will be mad about it like have to live with it. But the people who are just saying like, oh, this would be cool, and then getting attacked by the goblins hiding behind their screensaver being like, like, leave these poor people alone. And the content creators, if you disagree with them, and I'm saying this too, like the big budget content creators, people will be like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like, so? If you disagree, just say. It's
yeah.
fine.
And I mean, we've talked about this before, because I mean, this is like a very big thing when it comes to movies and TV shows and content creation and all that. There's always going to be somebody who disagrees. Whether it's just whether or not you like it or don't like it, whether you thought this theory about it or this or that or the other, people would disagree or agree or whatever. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to, like, you know, open up the conversation. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's an art form, you know what I mean? Movies and TV, it's all an art form. You know what I mean? It's open to interpretation, whatever. It's open to, you know, conversation. But when you go into it headstrong, being like, well, I know more about it than you, or like you're just inherently negative and stuff like that, like that's when it's like, well, I don't even want to talk to you about it. Yeah. Like, you weren't the audience that I was going for. Like, you can go know all of it by yourself. Like, exactly. You can know everything in your own little corner. We don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like, with your knowledge, do some good.
Yeah.
Like
educate
these people. Don't poop on them.
Don't belittle them.
Be like, oh, you haven't seen this. This is explained here, like, in case you wanted to see that.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying that for your and my sake, because like people comment stuff on our stuff, and I'm like, whatever, cry.
We're just two dudes in a basement.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my last like big one. It's just, yeah, like, people being their own moderators to stuff like that, to people just talking about movies. Do you have another big one you wanted to hit?
I think that's about it for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is our Can't Stand It segment. Thank you very much for listening. It's been the Mild Opinion Podcast. We'll see you next time.